Yo fam, what's up? It's your boy Kaldi Global, and let's talk about something we Indians find difficult to discuss openly. Sex. You say the word and people get awkward, right? But in many Western countries, it's just another topic of conversation. Ever wondered why this massive difference exists? Why is there a continent-sized chasm between how Indians and, say, someone in Europe or America views sex? In this video, we're diving deep, guys. We're going beyond the awkwardness and the hush-hush to understand the differences between Indian and foreign perspectives on sex with facts, maturity, and zero cringe. Let's do this. सेक्स एक ऐसा शब्द जिसे भारत में बोलते हुए लोग शर्मा जाते हैं, लेकिन वही शब्द पश्चिमी देशों में एक आम बातचीत का हिस्सा है। क्या आपने कभी सोचा है कि भारत और गोरों की सोच में इतना फर्क क्यों है? आज इस वीडियो में हम जानेंगे कि सेक्स को लेकर भारतीय और विदेशी सोच में क्या अंतर है, तथ्यों के साथ, बिना किसी शर्म या अश्लीलता के। Let's be real, guys. Most of us in India probably got our sex ed from hushed whispers in school corridors. Or, let's be honest, the internet. And even then, it was more about the biology than the emotional and social aspects, right? In many Western countries, sex education is a well-structured part of the curriculum starting early. It's not just about the birds and the bees. It's about consent, respect, contraception, and understanding your own body and sexuality. They talk about it openly, removing that taboo right from childhood. This difference in approach makes a huge impact. When you grow up with proper sex education, you're more likely to have healthy attitudes towards sex and relationships. You're better equipped to make informed choices, understand consent, and protect yourself. On the other hand, the lack of open dialogue in India often leads to misinformation, shame, and fear. It's like we're told, don't do it. But if you do it, don't talk about it. This silence can be really damaging, guys. It can lead to unhealthy relationships, increased risk of STIs, and a general sense of shame around a natural part of life. We need to break free from this, guys. We need to normalize conversations about sex and relationships. It's not about encouraging promiscuity. It's about empowering individuals with knowledge and understanding. It's about creating a society where we can talk about these things openly and honestly without judgment or shame. In India, sex is often seen as something that happens primarily within marriage, right? It's tied to the idea of family, tradition, and continuing the lineage. While there's nothing inherently wrong with that, it can create a lot of pressure and judgment for those who don't fit into that traditional mold. In many Western cultures, the role of sex in a relationship is viewed differently. It's seen as an expression of intimacy and connection, not just a means to an end. People are more likely to explore their sexuality before marriage, and there's less stigma associated with casual dating or premarital sex. Now, I'm not saying one is better than the other. It's about understanding the cultural context. But what's important is that individuals have the freedom to make their own choices about their bodies and relationships without societal pressure or judgment. In India, we need to start recognizing that relationships can exist outside of marriage, and sex can be a part of those relationships without shame. It's about respecting individual choices and creating a society where people feel comfortable expressing their sexuality in a healthy and consensual way. Again, this doesn't mean throwing tradition out the window. It's about finding a balance. It's about having open conversations about sex and relationships, both within families and in society as a whole. It's about understanding that love, intimacy, and commitment can exist in different forms, and we need to be open to that. Think about it, guys. When was the last time you had a comfortable, open conversation about sex with your parents, friends, or even your partner? Chances are, it's not something we do easily. We've been conditioned to associate sex with shame, secrecy, and something to be whispered about, not discussed openly. Remember those awkward birds and bees talks? Yeah, not exactly helpful, were they? Now imagine growing up in a culture where sex is just another topic of conversation, where you can ask your parents about it, discuss it with your friends, and even joke about it without feeling ashamed or judged. That's the kind of environment that many Western societies have cultivated. They've normalized conversations about sex, removing the stigma and shame associated with it. This doesn't mean they're out there having wild parties every night. It's about creating a space where people feel comfortable discussing their needs, desires, and boundaries. It's about understanding that sex is a natural part of life, and talking about it openly can lead to healthier relationships, better sexual health, and greater self-awareness. We need to break free from this culture of silence, guys. We need to stop treating sex like a dirty word and start having honest conversations about it. It's time to ditch the awkwardness and embrace openness. It's time to talk about sex with the same ease and comfort as we talk about any other aspect of our lives. Let's be real, guys. In India, societal pressure is like that ever-present relative who just won't stop giving unsolicited advice. It's everywhere, especially when it comes to sex and relationships. Log kaya kahenge? That's the question that haunts many of us, right? The fear of judgment, of being ostracized for making choices that deviate from the norm, can be paralyzing. In many Western cultures, while societal expectations exist, there's a greater emphasis on individual freedom and personal choice. People are encouraged to make their own decisions about their lives and relationships, even if those choices don't align with traditional norms. Now, I'm not saying there's no judgment or pressure in the West, but the difference lies in the degree of individual autonomy and the acceptance of diverse lifestyles. In India, we often prioritize societal expectations over individual happiness. We're told who to marry, when to have kids, and how to live our lives. But what about what we want? What about our dreams, our desires, our right to choose? It's time we start prioritizing individual happiness and freedom of choice, even if it means challenging societal norms. It's about time we break free from the shackles of log kya kahenge and start living our lives on our own terms. The good news is, guys, things are changing in India, slowly but surely. We're seeing more open conversations about sex and relationships, both online and offline. The internet, for all its flaws, has played a huge role in this shift. It's provided a platform for people to connect, share their experiences, and challenge traditional norms. We're seeing more and more young people questioning the status quo, demanding better sex education, and embracing their sexuality without shame. We're seeing a rise in premarital counseling, therapy, and open dialogues within families. Movies and web series are tackling bolder themes, sparking conversations that were once taboo. But let's be real, we still have a long way to go. The change won't happen overnight. It's a gradual process, and it requires a collective effort. We need to keep talking, keep questioning, and keep pushing for progress. We need to create a society where sex is not a source of shame, but a healthy and natural part of life. So guys, the difference in how India and the West view sex is real, but it's not about one being right or wrong. It's about cultural context, upbringing, and evolving perspectives. We need to find a balance between our values and the need for open, honest conversations about sex and relationships. Let's break free from the silence, the shame, and the judgment. Let's create a society where we can talk about sex with the same ease and comfort as we talk about any other aspect of our lives. Because knowledge is power, and understanding is the first step towards progress. तो दोस्तों, भारत और विदेशों की सोच में फर्क है, लेकिन इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि कोई एक सही और दूसरा गलत है। संस्कार और समझ दोनों जरूरी हैं। भारत को जरूरत है सेक्स को शर्म नहीं, समझ की नजर से देखने की। तभी हम एक बेहतर, सुरक्षित और जागरूक समाज बना पाएंगे। अगर ये वीडियो आपको सोचने पर मजबूर करता है, तो इसे लाइक करें, शेयर करें और सब्सक्राइब जरूर करें और कमेंट में बताएं, क्या आपने कभी इस टॉपिक पर खुलकर बात की है?